Hello everyone, my name is Olivia and here I am going to share with you a math update. So similar to one of my other homeschooling tip videos, I talked about how I'm combining two math curriculums right now and to kind of figure out what works the best. So that is Saxon math and Singapore math. Singapore dimensions math, that is. And I can give you an update here on where we're at with it and where we might go moving forward. So, as I did another video on this composition book and how I've set it up to track our homeschool with very low input costs, I will show you our tracker and where we're at. Okay, so looking at Saxon math, Saxon is a year-long curriculum, right? And we're starting it in the spring. So in theory, it would take us all the way through December, right? But I am wanting to shorten it to complete it in one semester. We're getting over crud. Anyway, so here is where we are at with Saxon. We're through lesson 22, and there are 112 lessons. But considering that this is January, well, now February, right? So we've gone through about a month of our semester. We've got February, March, and April, probably May left. So we are on track if we're on lesson 22. We're finished through lesson 22 now to get that completed in a semester based on the rate that we are finishing it. This is Math K for Saxon. It is very different in terms of math curriculum compared to the more colorful dimensions math text. And so I am combining these two. I like the hands-on nature that this accomplishes, as well as this curriculum goes through 12th grade, whereas dimensions math does not, but it is scratching the itch of having workbooks. My daughter likes the workbooks. This is where we're at with our Singapore math. So our Singapore math, we've got a couple things to finish up in these lessons, but we're through lesson 4.4 in the textbook portion, and it goes through 6.5, which is there's 6 chapters in that book. And then the math practice, we're through 3.12, and it goes through 6.5. We've got a couple to finish up there, which are largely like coloring things that she hasn't gotten to. Okay, so this is Singapore math, and this is a one semester curriculum, meaning that you would need KA and KB to complete a whole year. So we are over halfway done with the first set of books. And so I don't think that's going to be a huge problem completing these. And then decisions will be made when I go to order KB, which is the second set of books for the semester, which is really for semester 2, but we're going to do both in one semester. The thing is, though, I haven't quite decided. I have found the textbook has some teaching pages in it. There are some teaching pages that I'm sure, maybe there's more information in the teacher's guide for those, but I didn't purchase the teacher's guide. And here there's instructions about what to talk about. But the workbook I'm more intrigued with. There's not as much of that teaching element, and there's more activities. So I think what I'm going to do going forward is just purchase the workbook for KB for that workbook element that dimensions math fulfills, as well as this is more of I think it's a conceptual math, whereas Saxon is incremental. So that'll give us more space for working on Saxon while deciding not to do the KB textbook and just looking at that KB workbook. Those are my thoughts that I'm sorting through, figuring out how to approach math in a way that works for our family. So we are on track to complete the Dimensions Math KA workbooks If we wanted to fit in both KBs, we could in this semester. However, we're just going to do the KB workbook probably. We're on track to finish Saxon. Saxon is a really great exercise for my daughter because she doesn't super love it. She doesn't find it as interesting, and that's a good practice to work on, doing things that you don't find as interesting. I think that is a good practice for homeschool kids in the sense that my daughter has a lot of freedom, right? So being able to sit and do something with structure that she doesn't really want to necessarily do is a good skill to have, a life skill going forward. The dimensions math workbook she likes doing, and she can knock out a bunch in one sitting when she is in the mood to do it, and that enjoyment factor does help in completing those workbooks. But it's worked for us in terms of sincerely trying to figure out what's going to work. It gives us a chance to really figure out what's going to work for us in the long term, in the long run. Math is an important thing for us, for our family, and we're gonna roll with that and see where it goes. If you are starting out in your homeschooling journey like we are, or want to try to do curricula at the same time, this is one way to do it. My voice is not quite 100% yet, but comment below if you have any other questions about how we're approaching math in this season with my preschooler kindergartner. One last thing to mention or add with the Singapore math, we dropped doing the calendar work. So that's something that we supplement a different way with a different calendar, and that's worked out for us in terms of being able to complete lessons more quickly. So if you look at one of the lessons, the first large section is calendar work. It's called the meeting. So for example, this is lesson 9. So all of this is calendar, and this is calendar. This is a big section of calendar, and then you have the actual lesson after that. And so cutting that out has allowed us to work through it more quickly. And if we'll see if I do that in the future, but that's what's working for us at the moment. It's been more engaging with this other little hang-up calendar that we have for her to work on. So that's something that also has helped us move it along faster.